So why is it that capable business owners with experience, with opportunities, and they still feel misaligned, unfulfilled when things are working on the surface, by the look of it, but as I say, they are misaligned. Why do you think that is?
It's not their fault. That's the first thing. So, if you're a business owner, it is definitely not your fault. The thing is, people go into business for different reasons. And I promise you this, I did not go into business because of purpose at all. Like, I just went in because I needed the money and I'd been spat out of corporate, which I really enjoyed. And I needed to find a way. I've had these skills, and I was like, well, if people can pay me for these skills, then I'm good to go. So I just needed the money. So when most people go into business, you don't go in because of purpose. You go into business because you feel like you can either help the world somehow, or you've got a great idea, and that's what you go into. However, most entrepreneurs have got previous lives. Most have got previous lives.
We all carry our past with us and all those past experiences.
Right. And some of those lives are from either corporate or working for somebody else, whatever
Mm.
that looks like, you still carry those things with you. And when you come into business, at some point, because a lot of us are high performance individuals, we've started to realize or not realize that we're actually numbing a lot of those emotions.
Mm.
So you question you asked was around misalignment. It's more the fact that those emotions that we've numbed for ages because we're such giving people and we want to help the world and we
Yeah.
want to we want to do everything right and we want to overgive, and if we can help it, not charge as much but make loads of money and stuff, like we're almost a contradiction to ourselves. But those emotions need somewhere to go. So when you fall into your business and you're trying to save the world, this is your test. And this is where the misalignment comes from. The misalignment comes because it's like, okay, so you're trying to sort everybody else out, but what about you?
Mm.
And we keep on distracting ourselves and going, yeah, but what about the other people? And then the misalignment keeps coming back and it will manifest itself in behavior that doesn't become you. You speaking awfully to yourself that you wouldn't let another human being speak to you for, making excuses, creating chaos, whatever the illness is, whether it's mental illnesses or physical illnesses, those emotions that have come from your previous life have somewhere to come out. And that's what looks like misalignment. When you understand what you're here to do, you start to take your life back, because it's almost like you are channeling into a radio frequency. For those who are old enough to remember radios that had knobs on them that you could turn,
Yeah.
is that it's like you start to tune into a frequency that is yours and nobody else's. And that's where you get rid of competition. That's where you stand in conviction of yourself.
That's really powerful. Like some things you said just a few sentences ago, and that is the whole thing. Actually, this is exactly where it fits into the spiritual health part or pillar
Yeah.
of my method, and that's exactly why I invited you to talk about this
Oh,
topic,
thank
because it is quite ignored. And I think by the sound of it, by you saying that people just don't understand what purpose is and how that relates to their life and their business, is exactly why it's so important to talk about it. And it comes in the spiritual health kind of area, and you need to manage that, need to be aware of it and manage that in order to move forward in your life.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
in your own practice, how do you identify that someone is operating out of this misalignment, and how do you guide them back to a clearer sense of purpose?
By the time somebody comes to me, they know that something's missing
Mm.
and they can't put their finger on it. They know that they're meant for bigger things. They just don't know how to get there. So I never get the question, oh, do you think I'm on purpose? I normally just get, can you give me my purpose, please? And yeah, yeah.
Is
So,
it
and I
because
would,
that's the title of, well, you already mentioned it, that you have a 90-minute conversation with someone and you guarantee to find that purpose? I assume it's through conversation.
it's not a conversation. I don't ask you any questions.
Oh.
It is, yep, there's no questions. That's why it's called purpose guaranteed, because a lot of people, so I've heard that you'll get somebody come to you and go, well, what's your passion and what lights you up and what do you enjoy? I don't ask any of those questions. People come on a Zoom and I will tell them the purpose, guaranteed.
Okay, is that a your trade secret to say how?
I give them the purpose, and once they receive their purpose, they will either go, oh, that's it. And I've had one person go, I don't want that purpose. And I've said, that's the purpose. And funnily enough, the person who went, I don't want that purpose, went away and literally created incredible things. They were actually at the big festoon, funnily enough, and we were joking about it because where they've gone is beyond dreams, and it was on that purpose. And I remember meeting them afterwards, going, "You do know that you've just literally exploded on your purpose." They're like, I know, but they didn't. They were like, I didn't want it, and that's the mistake. People go, oh, they think I can go. When I go, here's your purpose, they think they can go, don't want that one, I want that one. It's like, no, your purpose. And that's another thing. Your purpose isn't necessarily what you want, it is yours. And it is yours to embody and make your own.